Can our body stay silent about what the mind has long forgotten? Sometimes inside us there is a tension, like an invisible weight squeezing the lower abdomen, and we cannot quite explain why it is so difficult to breathe and move freely. Don't rush to attribute this feeling simply to fatigue or anxiety. Often the root cause lies deeper, in a muscle that even doctors and we ourselves tend to overlook. This is the psoas, the hidden guardian of our inner world, holding what we have neither voiced nor released. So why does this happen, and how can we understand this silent language of the body? Together with Helena Blavatsky, a seeker of the secret connections between body and spirit, we learn that our physical self and inner world are intimately intertwined. Within the depths of our muscles, like a locked chest untouched for ages, lie unspoken feelings. Some might recognize this situation. After serious turmoil, the pain stubbornly lingers, even when time has passed and everything should feel different. A friend once experienced vague unrest in the pelvic region, yet no one could explain why. When she first learned about the psoas, it was as if someone turned on the light in a dark room. Her body seemed to awaken from a long slumber, beginning a gentle conversation that revealed forgotten emotions. This deep muscle is called the center of emotional gravity, not without reason. When we undergo fear, painful moments, or prolonged exhaustion, the psoas tightens, as if hiding tears we could not cry and words left unspoken. It is known that the body never lies nor forgets. It remembers every experience, linking them to specific parts of our physical shell. What we call an emotional burden literally imprints on the muscles. Imagine a person who has suppressed fatigue all their life to meet the expectations of others. Their psoas becomes a fortress that refuses to let go of old fears, preventing a free life. Here enters the idea, also emphasized by Blavatsky, that the physical and spiritual are closely intertwined. The body mirrors our spiritual pain and joy, and to understand it means to come closer to the depths of self. But what can be done if this tension suddenly becomes part of everyday life? The beginning lies in simple awareness. An acquaintance told how he only started noticing his body when he stopped rejecting the first signals of discomfort. Sitting in a chair, placing his hands on his sides, he merely breathed, not trying to fix, only observing. A slight stiffness emerged, followed by a strange emerging feeling of freedom. This is the first step on the path to liberation. The psoas is the keeper of ancient experiences, and only through attentiveness to oneself can one learn to understand these invisible messages. With breathing practices that Blavatsky often spoke about, one can send the body a signal of safety, release tension, and embark on healing. Many of us forget that the body not only reacts to inner experiences, but also sensitively absorbs the environment. We are like sponges soaking up others' emotions, city noises, and inside it feels even tighter. Once I met someone whose explosive work in a noisy office caused chronic tension in the lower back. He did not understand why the constant tightness did not go away, despite changing medications and visiting various specialists. Only after creating a corner of silence and calm at home did half of the dissatisfaction and stiffness subside. This serves as an important reminder that our external world is closely linked with what happens inside. How then can we create conditions for true liberation? It is crucial to abandon the idea of quick fixes and focus on a gentle, respectful attitude toward oneself. Blavatsky often emphasized that the path to harmony is neither easy nor swift. It resembles the gradual unfolding of a flower, where every petal represents part of your soul and body. Remember that breath is not just a process. It is a bridge between body and mind, between the past held by the psoas and the present where you can start a new life. Let a deep inhale become your daily ritual. Let the feeling of presence fill every moment. The psoas is not accustomed to releasing old pain without a struggle. Since it is responsible for the fight-or-flight response, the tension within it keeps the body constantly prepared for danger. It is like a person who always keeps a hand on their shoulder. Imagine how exhausting and painful this state can be. Breathing exercises and conscious, slow, and smooth movement are not just workouts, but a kind of dialogue with the deepest self. One person shared that after weeks of regular practice, he felt for the first time in a long period, not a longing, but a living joy in his body. When the body begins to free itself, unexpected emotions arise. Tears, anger, fear, joy. This natural response called discharge should not be suppressed or overanalyzed. Let the feelings emerge. It is precisely in this release process that Blavatsky's philosophical views on the subtle and physical bodies converge. As she taught, the body is more than mere matter. It is an energy field that carries life stories, and the extent to which we allow these stories to surface determines our ability to live with joy and freedom. It is important to realize that change does not happen instantly. The process consists of many small steps: conscious breathing, care for personal space, movement infused with love for the body, and daily choices. I once met a woman who decided not to rush, but to accept each change with patience. Over 3 months, she noticed her anxiety diminish, mood improve, and connection with her body restore. This inspires us to remember that we are masters of our transformation, and every new perspective enriches the inner world. Our surroundings also play a huge role. Noise, clutter, emotional conflicts, and persistent tension from the external world, like a mighty stream, prevent the psoas from relaxing. It is like a cat barricading itself for protection. To help the body, create your own peaceful space. Even a small corner with soft light, comfort, and favorite music will already be a signal of safety. Here, aesthetics matter less than the energy invested. One person told me that after clearing clutter from his workspace and adding a few plants, he felt much calmer and more stable. Thus, the liberation of the body is a complex yet wonderful process, revealing the deep connection with oneself. The psoas is not merely a muscle. It is the guardian of our earliest experiences and fear responses that we can now begin to release. Supporting ourselves with gentleness and attention, allowing emotions to pass, we create new spaces within and around us. In this discovery, turning to the body, breath, movement, and inner dialogue through the wisdom of teachers like Helena Blavatsky helps us. Continuing this journey, we enter a phase of learning the nuances of movement and breathing, understanding how not only to relax muscles, but to restore harmony with our inner nature. Liberation is not a destination, but a process, and together we will travel this path step by step. So stay with us. Subscribe and prepare for new discoveries that will help you see and feel yourself anew with love and mindfulness. Your body is not an enemy, but an ally, and we are ready to show you how to listen to it and give freedom to your soul. As we move forward, let us delve deeper into practical methods that allow gentle and specific work with the psoas muscle, freeing it from deep-seated blocks. Meanwhile, if you have felt a resonance in your body or soul, don't rush away. Share your experience, ask questions, express what you feel. It is through dialogue that we all progress toward healing, creating a safe space for healing through awareness and environment. Have you ever felt an invisible weight pressing down inside? A silent tension gripping the very core of your being, especially around the lower abdomen, without a clear reason? This sensation is often mistaken for simple fatigue or anxiety, yet the truth runs deeper. Our bodies carry memories not easily accessible to the conscious mind, and one of the key but often overlooked guardians of this hidden history is the psoas muscle. Nestled deep within the pelvis and lower back, the psoas acts like a steadfast sentinel, quietly holding the stories of emotions we have never fully expressed or released. Its tension often speaks louder than words, silently echoing the burdens we carry and the unresolved feelings tucked away beyond our awareness. The environment you create around yourself plays an indispensable role in either maintaining or alleviating this internal grip. The legendary Helena Blavatsky, known for her profound insights into the fusion of body and spirit, suggested that the space surrounding us is far more than inert background. It is a living extension of our inner world, a dynamic participant in the balance of our consciousness and energy. When your home or workplace is cluttered, loud, or chaotic, it sends unconscious signals to the body, amplifying the protective tightening of muscles like the psoas. Imagine living in a room filled with scattered objects, harsh lights, and overwhelming noises. Your nervous system interprets this as a state of alertness and danger, making it difficult to unwind and truly breathe. One striking example involves a woman exhausted by chronic fatigue and difficulty breathing. She had consulted multiple specialists, yet relief was elusive until she transformed her living space. By establishing a little sanctuary bathed in soft light and scented with lavender, she began to experience her body letting go of the tension that had been trapped for years. Her psoas muscle, responding to the newfound sense of safety, gradually loosened its tight hold, allowing a deeper breath in the first glimmers of peace. This illustrates that the cultivation of a nurturing physical and emotional environment is not a mere luxury. It is foundational to healing. Soundscapes within our environment wield a powerful influence on the body's ability to relax. Blavatsky emphasized the importance of harmonious vibrations, And modern research confirms the calming effect of low-frequency sounds on the nervous system. The gentle rhythm of drums, the resonant tones of Tibetan singing bowls, or the murmuring sounds of nature can create an auditory sanctuary that encourages the psoas and other muscles to release their tension. An instance of this is seen with a young woman who incorporated these sounds into her daily routine, which led to a noticeable reduction in the sensation of tightness and a renewed buoyancy in her physical and emotional state. Interpersonal relationships and the emotional atmosphere at home also dramatically affect the psoas muscle's state. Prolonged exposure to conflict or unresolved emotional tension can ingrain itself into the body's musculature. Consider the story of a man living within a household filled with conflict, where he felt a constant constriction in his lower belly and pelvis. Only when he established clear personal boundaries and learned to express his feelings did his body begin to relax, marking a profound shift in both his physical comfort and emotional well-being. This underscores Blavatsky's teaching that the energy circulating within and around us is deeply intertwined and reciprocal. Disharmony external to the body often manifests as internal muscular contraction. Material surroundings such as furniture choices, lighting, scents, and the presence of natural elements contribute significantly to creating this feeling of safety that the body craves. Plants, natural materials, and views of greenery have a soothing, life-affirming effect. A woman who rearranged her workspace near a window overlooking a garden and added a few plants found her energy levels rising and her internal tension diminishing. This simple adjustment echoed through the subtle release of psoas tightness, showing that mindful attention to one's environment can be an act of profound self-care. Beyond the physical characteristics of space, there is an invisible vibrational quality that Blavatsky described as a potent but often ignored force. Years of accumulated negative emotions can harden muscular structures into a near-permanent state of contraction, especially the psoas. Often people remain unaware of this internal battle until they consult practitioners who focus not only on symptoms, but also on the deeper energetic and environmental factors. Such awareness shifts the focus from battling pain to understanding the origins of tension and inviting change by nurturing both internal and external spaces. Take, for example, a young man accustomed to the relentless pace and noise of urban life. Despite spending time in parks and attempting relaxation, he could not shake the persistent tension residing in his body. It wasn't until he recognized the chaos in his living environment, a cluttered apartment filled with buzzing electronics and continuous commotion, that he started redesigning his personal space. Creating a tranquil corner with dimmed lights, soothing aromas, and nature-inspired sounds gave his body signals of safety. Over time, the psoas relaxed, and with it, he experienced a deeper physical and emotional calm. Emotional harmony within the household is equally crucial. Blavatsky highlighted how unresolved family conflicts act as unseen weights that settle into the physical form, creating muscular tension and energetic blockages. An illustrative case is a young girl suffering from chronic abdominal pain linked to emotional stress in her family. When her parents consciously cultivated an atmosphere of understanding, support, and reduced conflict, natural healing followed. This correlation between environmental harmony and bodily ease affirms that healing spaces are woven not only of material comfort, but also of emotional safety and trust. Creating a sanctuary at home, therefore, is not about grand renovations or expensive decor. It is about intentional choices that communicate to your body and mind that you are safe and can let go. A simple nook with a soft blanket, muted lighting, and a cherished book can become a refuge where the psoas begins to unfold its protective barriers. The body learns to lower its defenses, and the subtle muscle guarding your core begins to remember the sensation of ease. As you become attuned to these nuances, your environment transforms from an unconscious backdrop to an active participant in your healing journey. This intentional cultivation of peace nurtures not just physical relaxation, but a reclamation of inner wholeness. Helena Blavatsky might have described this as a homecoming, a return to the energetic core of the self where true protection arises from connection and presence, not from tension and resistance. When your space supports you, your body responds by shedding layers of guardedness, inviting the soul to inhabit its vessel fully and freely. Looking ahead, we will explore how this underlying process intertwines with consciousness itself, unveiling practical methods that deepen the connection between body and spirit on the journey toward genuine liberation. In the meantime, begin with small steps. Listen attentively to your inner signals, assess the quality of your surroundings, embrace the quiet, and allow yourself permission to rest. Join us as we continue this path toward freedom of body and soul, where every breath, every sound, and every intentional choice becomes a stepping stone closer to the self you are meant to be. Awakening natural movement and embracing transformation. Have you ever paused to truly listen to your body's whispers beneath the noise of daily life? Often we move mechanically, following ingrained patterns that, while familiar, confine our natural flow and silence our deepest sensations. Many spend years shadowed by an inner stiffness no traditional exercise seems to ease. This stiffness is not just physical, it is woven into the very fabric of being, invisible threads spun from old fears and unexpressed emotions. The quest for organic, heartfelt movement is a journey back to ourselves, a delicate awakening that reconnects body and spirit in a conversation long forgotten. Helena Blavatsky, whose wisdom bridges esoteric insight and embodied experience, reminds us that the body holds truths where the mind often falters, its language subtle yet powerful. In this exploration, we uncover how habitual postures and repetitive stresses constrict muscles and nervous pathways, gradually silencing the body's joyful resilience. Long hours of sitting, shallow breathing, and unconscious holding patterns create a landscape of muscular rigidity, akin to a river frozen beneath an unyielding ice sheet. Stories abound. A woman unable to lift her arm without pain after a taxing workday, a man plagued by persistent tension despite committed yoga practice. Both found that conventional stretching and strengthening missed a crucial element, the infusion of mindful presence and gentle acceptance that kindled a slow internal thaw, transforming tension into flow and awakening a vitality once dulled. Blavatsky's teachings emphasize that energy animates us deeply and that vibrating frequencies shape our physical and emotional equilibrium. Sound becomes a vessel of healing. The resonance of low, sustained tones can penetrate deeply, facilitating a softening of hardened muscles and releasing emotional blockages trapped within. Consider the case of a man burdened by chronic pelvic tightness, who through chanting prolonged vowels felt not only muscular loosening, but also an emotional calm that seemed to breathe life back into a soul long confined. This organic movement, coupled with vibration, is more than exercise. It is a reunion of material and subtle energies, awakening a body that had silently called for recognition. The beauty of such movement lies in its gentleness and authenticity. It defies the mechanical rigidity of goal-oriented fitness, asking instead for curiosity, patience, and compassion. Like a cat stretching leisurely after awakening, exploring each sinew without intention beyond the present moment, the body rediscovers its language and rhythm. Anecdotes from those journeying this path speak to a newfound lightness and freedom, as years of persistent back pain dissipate through a kind embrace of movement driven by inner sensation rather than external command. Such practice resembles meditation in motion, a sacred dialogue where the body is honored as companion and guide. Breath, too, emerges as a vital key. It is not mere inhalation and exhalation, but a conscious invitation for the nervous system to relinquish its vigilant grasp. Breathing into the low belly, into the pelvic region and lower back, signals safety to the body's ancient defenses. One woman, tormented by anxiety and exhaustion, experienced profound ease and clearer thinking by embracing mindful, deep breaths directed to these often neglected areas. This breathwork cultivates a sanctuary within, a refuge beneath the chaos of external demands. Our surroundings inevitably shape these inner states. The cacophony of urban life, glaring artificial lights, and the emotional turbulence of daily relations feed into chronic tension, anchoring stress in the muscular web. Blavatsky's insights highlight the power of harmonizing our environment to support inner calm. Decluttering, soft illumination, and cozy nooks become more than interior design choices. They are sanctuaries where the body learns to exhale long-held burdens. Personal stories frequently echo this truth. An apartment flooded with natural light and the gentle presence of plants not only lifts the spirit, but loosens the embodied armor accumulated over years. Soundscapes also influence the body's receptivity to relaxation. The gentle murmur of water, the rhythmic pulse of a drum, or the ethereal tones of singing bowls initiate a vibrational dialogue with the muscles and nerves, coaxing softened layers beneath tension to emerge. Many practitioners report marked shifts when integrating these auditory elements into their routines, underscoring that healing transcends the physical realm and moves into energetic balance. Blavatsky's doctrine that all existence vibrates teaches us to create resonance internally and externally, aligning our personal frequency with harmony itself. This holistic approach extends into the emotional realm, where stress and relationship dynamics imprint on muscular tone. Toxic environments and unresolved conflicts form energetic barriers that stiffen the core, particularly the deep muscles that guard our innermost vulnerabilities. One man's liberation from persistent pelvic tightness followed his conscious establishment of boundaries and self-care. Gradually, as his environment shifted to respect and safety, his body began to mirror this newfound peace. Energy, as Blavatsky observed, is a reciprocal current, flowing through and shaped by our connections to self, others, and space around us. Touching, too, is a gentle art in this process. Movements that awaken the pelvis, spine, and abdomen unfold like petals, inviting layers of repression to unfold rather than snap open. This body-centered approach facilitates not only physical release, but emotional catharsis, often surfacing feelings neglected or buried. Acceptance and willingness become the soil in which transformation blooms. The resulting freedom is not a fleeting sensation, but a gradual rebirth into wholeness. The vibratory nature of our existence, highlighted in these practices, calls for a delicate balance of sound, breath, and movement supported by a nurturing environment. Here, the fusion of ancient wisdom with modern embodiment reconciles the fragmented self, reclaiming our innate joy of aliveness. The body is no longer subject or tool, but partner in an ongoing dance of healing and discovery. Daily commitment to this gentle unfolding becomes an act of profound self-love, offering pathways previously obscured by habitual neglect and unawareness. When emotions like grief or anger arise during this process, they need not be feared or suppressed. Instead, they invite deeper listening and integration. Blavatsky's philosophy teaches that such moments are gateways, precious opportunities to transmute energetic blocks and renew the vibrancy within. Embracing these expressions cultivates resilience and clarity, nurturing a flexible, alive, embodied presence that can accommodate the fullness of human experience. The journey of restoring ease and natural movement is inevitably gradual. Patience is the silent companion, teaching us that healing unfolds through persistence rather than rush. Days of apparent regression coexist with breakthroughs, composing a rich tapestry of growth. In honoring this ebb and flow, we develop compassion for our own processes, fostering sustainable change that integrates rather than fragments. This practice transforms life itself from a battle into a graceful unfolding. Simple, mindful daily rituals anchor this transformation. 5, 10, or 15 minutes of conscious breathing, gentle stretching, or quiet movement can establish a new baseline of awareness and ease. These moments weave threads of safety and calm through the nervous system, gradually eroding entrenched patterns of tension. Words we speak inwardly also color this landscape. Kind, affirming self-talk radiates invitations for relaxation and openness, reinforcing the body's readiness to heal. In this holistic embrace, each breath, each gesture aligns body, mind, and spirit. Recognizing the profound interconnectedness between internal states and external environment encourages us to curate spaces that reflect and nurture this harmony. Whether a cozy corner in the home or a peaceful spot outdoors, these environments signal to the body that momentary rest and renewal are allowed and valued. Even minor adjustments, soft lighting, natural textures, calming aromas, support the parasympathetic nervous system, deepening rest and restoration. Collective accounts highlight how such mindful design choices tangibly shift well-being and ease chronic strain, notably in deep core muscles that carry emotional weight. Sound, vibration, breath, movement, and environment together compose a symphony of liberation. Blavatsky's teachings position these elements not as separate practices, but as components of a unified restoration of our vibrational essence. Whether or not one embraces esoteric terminology, the lived experience of progressive ease, emotional release, and renewed connection speaks eloquently to this integrative approach. The journey is simultaneously personal and universal, effectively opening pathways to inner freedom and radiant health. As the narrative progresses, it reveals that awakening natural movement is less about perfect technique and more about surrendering to the body's wisdom. This tender re-education fosters a safe space where ingrained defenses gradually soften, allowing fresh vitality to flow. The shift from resistance to acceptance marks a profound turning point, where movement becomes a language of healing rather than a task of effort. This realization unleashes creativity and joy, qualities essential to vibrant living. Finally, this process calls for sustained devotion, balanced with gentleness. The path is a mosaic of insights, small victories, and tender setbacks. Consistency in practice anchors breakthroughs and breathes life into the possibility of lasting change. Emerging from this receptivity is a sense of wholeness, where body, mind, and spirit coalesce in harmonious dialogue. The individual learns to honor rhythms, trust sensations, and welcome emotional truths often dismissed. In this way, restoration unfolds naturally and beautifully,